YouTube. First and foremost, thank you for, I think I have 25 people who watch my videos. Thank you. I know 25 people will be interested. Yay. Um, I'm back with you again, and I had a comment on my last video about the details of training, and I told you guys that I would be, going into some details about, what the process is and everything else. So, let me put a little disclaimer. I know everyone's going to find out who I work for. I'm not trying to hide it. I just want you to really take away from the experience and the tips I'm giving rather than get hung up on the name of the airline, because every airline is different. However, there's certain things that are going to be consistent across the board because we're governed by the same FAA, and there's just certain things that are just going to be standard, period. And then there's just certain things that every flight attendant goes through because it just is what it is. So if you find out what airline I work for, I would rather it not be broadcast, but again, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. I know it's going to be found out. It's not huge. I just want you to really take away from the experience that I'm sharing with you guys rather than be hung up on the name. Okay, with that, let's jump right into it. I have some questions, so if I keep looking down, you know why. How long is training? Right now, the three major airlines that are hiring are Delta, US, and American Airlines. American is 8 weeks. Delta, I believe, is 6. Don't quote me. And then US Air is like 4. So, and the reason for the difference is because they have different scheduling. They have different things they put on top of the stuff that you need to learn for the FAA regulations. There's certain things that you must know from that, and then on top of that they have their own little spin that they have for their company and their company procedures and all that other stuff. So that's the reason for the difference in the length of training. Now I know for Delta at one point it was unpaid. From my understanding, it is now, it's paid now. But American and US is unpaid. And the concept is you are not a flight attendant until you pass this training, because again, you're regulated by the government. So with that being said, if you're not proficient in all of these emergency procedures, because that's what you learn all of the emergency procedures, how the company likes you to do things when in an event of emergency. So with that being said, if you're not proficient in these areas, you can't be a flight attendant, and that's not the company saying that, that's the government. So, you have to think about it as you kind of being on a 6, 8, or 4-week interview, because you're not a flight attendant. You're not a flight attendant while in training. So don't go out there and say, oh, I didn't get the job, I'm a flight attendant, because you don't have a job until you get those wings. Point blank. I hate to bust your bubble. And a lot of companies are doing that because you have to pass these tests and you have to be proficient in those emergency procedures, because that can mean life or death for other people, your passengers. Because your number one job as a flight attendant is to obviously to take care of the customer, but to help in safety related things. Like, you're there to ensure the safety of the passengers. Then you can serve drinks, but you need to learn how to take care of their passengers while you're up in the air, because no one's there but you and your crew. That's it. That's all. No one else is there to help you with that. So there's no calling 911. There's no, getting other assistance other than what's in that small little tube. Okay, so you know how long, you know how much money, 0, and you also kind of know what to expect. Another thing to expect, I always tell people you're literally on level 10 that entire training. Not to say my instructors were amazing, like best in the game, awesome. And not to say that they're like, you better learn this or else. It's not like that. However, for me, I left my job, and there was no job to go back to. So either I get this right or that's it. So you do have a bit of stress put on you a little bit. I know a lot of people, including myself, really had a hard time with the stress part in some area or another. But you just have to get in that mindset that this is it. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And that's what got me through that. God and my fellow trainees, I know there in my program you can only fail 3 tests. I failed 2. Third test, you're out. Period. Point blank. They don't care that you lost your job, or you left your job rather. They don't care that you left home, left your family. That's it. That's all. 3 tests. That's it. I failed 2. And what made the biggest difference was my study groups. You're normally in a hotel with about anywhere to about 50 to 70 other people that are in your training class. And then you probably have another class in there, maybe ahead of you or behind you. And we literally would create powwows in each other's hotel rooms and study like we were studying for the bar. It's because, we all had this goal in mind that this was it. This was all. We're going to do this. This is our dream. I mean, not to be all cliche, but I mean, seriously, you give up everything. You need to do your best. And there were plenty of nights where me and now who I consider my family will be up to 11 o'clock at night and have to wake up and be in training by like 6:30, 7 o'clock the next day. So trying to study hard. And the biggest difference for me from passing is failing was those study groups. The nights that I want to sit back and leisurely study while watching Basketball Wives or Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or something like that. Those nights were the test the next day that I failed, because I wouldn't get my butt up and go downstairs and go to the little cafe area and study with my group. And that's just me. Some people, they can't do all the people. They just can't. They just can't do all the people. But and I used to be I'm a student as well, so I'm the type of person, you give me a pair of headphones, some good music, and I'm zoned in and I got to do what I got to do. But with this, you can't. And then I found in study groups, you learn little tidbits from each other. You're sitting taking the test and you're like, oh, I remember when such and such said such and such, or I remember that joke he said to tie this in. So it helps. It helps. Study group, study group, study group. Okay. Now things kind of survival tips to be out there, because most of the airlines are unpaid because you are not an employee until you pass this training. So, honestly, it probably ran me about $600, maybe. I'm ballparking it, of how much money I spent on my own to be out there. Because depending on where you live, they normally fly you out to wherever their main training facility is, whatever. So it wasn't where I lived. And the cost of food and just other little amenities, and then things that you need to get out there. You know what I'm saying? Like my old job, I had uniforms, so I didn't have business attire outfits because I had uniforms. And then I had my own clothes that I wore. So I had to buy all new business attire clothes. And I'm not talking about, suits and stuff, but, slacks, decent dress shirts, business casual shirts and stuff like that. So with all that, it kind of racked up fast. And then also, with my training, we didn't have to pay for the breakfast or the dinner. Even though I didn't too much care for either. It was free, thank you. But gotta get old after a while. So I would get little things like tuna, sandwich meat, because most of the hotels have refrigerators. Sandwich meat, snacks, little things that you can nibble on in class, because class is boring. Let me tell you something. And all my classmates are probably going to fall out laughing when I say this, when they watch this. I stayed about to fall asleep. Seriously, and I'm a head roller too. Seriously, if I saw another PowerPoint, I was just going to just end it all. Only way I got through with it, snacking. And obviously maybe that wasn't a good thing, but almonds, grapes, strawberries, blueberries, what else did I get? I got oranges, I got apples, whatever you can pick up at the hotel. Like sometimes they'll have this little fruit basket of stuff. Take all that stuff. It's free. Take it all. Take all the stuff, pack it up, take the training, have me my can of Red Bulls, I had me my instant packets of Starbucks, because the coffee they gave us was brown water. I don't know what that was. So, do whatever you have to do. Just stay awake. Also, we made, a lot of the girls, we made salads and Mexican bowls. Like, you just take a can of black beans and some pre-made chicken and some salsa and put it in a bowl. Like, we did all that. I mean, you just do what you have to do. And it's a good idea to come out there with the qualifying shoes. The reason why I say that was the biggest headache for us girls out there. The guys, obviously no problem, but for the girls out there, the biggest issue was finding the shoes. The shoes that we are allowed to wear is only supposed to be 3 inches high. Now, I can easily walk in 6.5 inch Jeffrey Campbell's like nobody's business. I haven't bought a pair of shoes that weren't like flats, like actual like sandals or loafers or sneakers that were not above 5 inches in at least the past 3 or 4 years. So that was the hardest thing for me. A lot of the girls, they found their shoes at Payless, surprisingly. I still wear mine from Payless to work now, and they work perfectly fine. And they were under 3.5 inches, but that's the biggest thing, is finding shoes. I prefer that you find shoes before you get there, because you're in a hotel, you're in a city that you don't know, you don't have your car, you're very limited where you can go to go look for these things, unless you're an online shopper like I am. But even then, it's still hard. It's because most airlines like the plainest shoe possible, which is even harder when we live in a world that has buckles and studs and patent leather and zebra print and wood wedge heels. Like, all that stuff that's cute is not acceptable. They want the plainest thing ever. So again, if you've passed the interview process and you're about to go to training, just go ahead and find the, I'm sorry, my little edges are just get on my nerves. Just go ahead and find the appropriate shoes before you go out there. It would save you so much headache. So much headache. Okay, what's the next thing? Obviously pack you some casual clothes. It'll be a moment where you'll be able to go out to the city, wherever you are, and enjoy yourself and take those opportunities. Don't go buck wild, because we had a group that went all that field and they passed. I mean, they can do whatever they want to do. They're grown people, but don't go buck wild. It's because, again, even though you are unofficially you're not officially a flight attendant, you still represent that airline in some degree or form. I'm just saying. Oh, another thing is, soon as you put in your request for your base, because my home city is not where my base is. It's it's like a couple states away. So soon as you find out where your base is, start looking for crash pads. And I'm telling you from experience, I did not do that because I figured, oh, I can just go out there and wing it, do the little hotels, and I'll just be flying so much that I won't need it. Zero. I've been here since 12 o'clock midnight and I have not gotten one phone call for a flight, which is not unusual in any company. It really isn't. It's because you have the least seniority, and depending on how the company works, when you're on reserve, which is really another word for on call, you are only needed when something goes wrong, when there's a delay, when someone's sick. Literally, when something goes wrong, that's when they need you. When everything is going smooth sailing, you're just sitting here. So I really thought I could wing it, and I can't. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to go and sign the lease for a room for me to have for when I am here and they don't call me. So look for a place in training. Do it. Even if it's just phone calls. Trying to map out around in the city where these places are. So when you do get out of training and you do have those, days where you get to, it's like a break days or settling days where you get a chance to move to the city or your base rather. Do that so you're good and prepared. The girls who did that in my class, they had their place within a week and it's sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important as well. I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope that helps some. And again, the only reason why I'm not talking about the airline name is because I don't want you to get, hung up on it. There's certain things you just go through, period. Everybody's going to go through it, period, no matter what the company is. There might be some differences, some give or takes, but pretty much the same. And being that the government regulates us, we learn pretty much the same thing. We just apply those policies and procedures differently. So I hope that helps some. I'll probably be doing another video today, so don't be, question why I have the same outfit on in another video, because I'm probably going to do another video today. Again, I hope that helped. If you guys have any questions, any more topics, please put it down in the comments, because I'm really here for you guys. I really wanted this YouTube video or channel to be for you guys. Alright, light and love, and see you in the sky.